everybody, it's Russ from Kilt Cork. Hopefully you can hear me. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty tonight with our connection out here at Solid Ground Brewing, but that's not going to stop us from bringing you a show. So what we're going to do is we're going to record it and we're going to post it later, and hopefully you'll still enjoy the show. But I just wanted to show you the tasting room that we're at in here in Diamond Springs. It's a beautiful place. Usually it's packed, but I guess because the internet's down, it's a little bit different. This is a great place to come and hang out, have some food. We'll talk about the food, we'll talk about the beers here in a minute. But because we're recording, we can walk around, which is so cool. So I'm gonna bring my beer with me. We're gonna go back here, we're gonna meet the brewers, Casey and Scott, so follow me back here. So this is the team at Solid Ground Brewing. We've got Scott and Casey. And say hi to everybody out there in Facebook land and YouTube land. So again, I appreciate your patience. Again, my name is Russ Reyes, and you're watching Kilt Cork semi-live, since we're not live tonight. But you know what? We're going to roll with it. We have beer. Casey said earlier, you know, it's no big deal.
Yeah, nobody's died.
Nobody's died.
I mean, at the end of the day,
at least here
nobody's died.
So we're good. We've got some great beers. We're going to talk to you guys about that. So,
sounds fun.
And we can walk around.
Yep.
So let's kind of start by talking a little bit about Solid Ground, kind of what your vision is and what it is.
Well, so this project kind of came to fruition, I guess, maybe 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So Scott and I had crossed paths, 2 or 3 times, and finally, at the culmination of our kind of, our time, hanging out, drinking beer and wine, we started talking about having a brewery.
Okay.
So we're both from the area, the Greater Foothills.
Right.
I raised my kids here,
Yep.
and so we wanted to stay local. So we just had to find a building, really. So this was an old days hardware. This was it was built to be a brewery, and so we had that first, and then the premise and the name and everything came later.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we always knew that we wanted the product that came out the front doors to be a solid product, and we knew that starting from the beginning, we needed the space, the equipment, the people, everybody going towards in the same direction.
Right.
And then through all that, we kind of going back and forth on names and philosophies, we landed on this concept of Solid Ground. Being Scott's got a solid background in his discipline.
Gotcha.
I've got a solid background in my discipline. The company that we chose, was all American-made, equipment.
Right.
It had a strong, solid foundation. And then just with us both coming from production backgrounds, we knew how to make solid products.
Fermentation backgrounds.
Yep.
Blah blah blah.
Okay, we're going to talk about your fermentation background here, because you're pretty active up here in the foothills. So let's kind of walk around a little bit. And we're in your
Let's
brewery.
just start with the front of the process.
Pretty much what you're looking at, this is a 30 barrel brew house.
Okay.
So it wasn't meant to be a 30 barrel brew house, but we use it as a 30 barrel brew
Maybe
house.
25 barrels, so it's close enough.
5 barrels. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, so basically, it's a large system.
Okay.
It's probably one of the larger in the greater Sacramento area. I mean, there's guys like Track 7 and such have systems that are similar size.
Okay.
But for the most part, we pump out anywhere between 40 and 60 kegs per batch.
40 and 60 kegs, okay, and then you've got your mash tun and your brew.
Yeah, and we can walk
kettles right here.
And pretty much what we're looking at hill.
Just, it looks like probably just a bunch of crap on the ground, but it's it's all the grain.
Okay.
So we basically we do everything in super sack when we can. So these are all 2,000 pound totes, as opposed to your standard 50-pound sacks like most brewers use.
Yeah.
So this whole contraption is sitting on a 10,000 pound scale. So it sits on a 10,000 pound scale. The scale came out of Sacramento from one of the rice manufacturers, and so this whole bin is sitting on top of that. So when we mill our grain, we literally pick the bin or the bag up with the fork, with the forks and the forklift, and hang it above our mill, and mill into the grist bin. from here, so that that really kind of, and that's something again going back to having production experience, working in big breweries, where that's not how we did it. We had silos or purpose-built systems for your super sacks, but because we're a family business with myself, my wife, Scott, his wife, we weren't going to put in another $30,000 piece of equipment.
Well, it's actually kind of cool though too, because we can use, instead of having multiple silos, we just have this, and it actually works just as effectively. It's a little annoying because we got to store it on the floor, but other than that, it works actually really great.
But I mean, that's really cool. You use what you have in order to get the job done, and
well, it's actually super cool though in here. It actually works really well.
It does.
Lift it up, turn the button on, and it mills.
And then you start doing it, and then it just transfers it up there. Okay.
Yeah,
so then you've got your grains, and then you get them into.
So we can pop up top here.
All right.
So
Kind of follow the camera somehow.
yeah, so like I said, we just brewed the other day, so it's not real clean up here.
Oh, that's okay. I don't think anyone's gonna care, but this is
Yeah.
super cool being up in the.
Yeah, so this Scott and I are both sub 6 feet, so this place is everything in this brew house except for the deck is made for someone our size.
Right.
So like for some reason the deck up here you can have a full party. I don't really
Which is
understand why
awesome,
it's so
though.
big.
Yeah.
But
You do. That tends to be the hangout when you're brewing.
Yeah, you sit up here with your beer and you watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch a beer. Yeah,
But
exactly.
this was all made in Vancouver, Washington.
Okay.
This is Mark's Metal Design. They this is a traditional lager style setup.
Okay.
What I mean by that is it's got a dedicated mash tun over here, steam jacketed mash tun. So this guy.
Keep the camera in there.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah.
So this is so basically this gives us the ability to go through a series of step mashes with our lager.
Right.
Our Hefeweizen, it's a 5-step mash.
Oh, that's awesome.
Again the pilsner, the Mexican half that you've got, those are 4-step mashes.
Yeah.
So basically this system allows us to do that as opposed to your more traditional infusion mash system that you might find in a lot of places that have a mash lauter. Which this does have a mash lauter as well. This is a dedicated lauter ton, but we do have the ability to mash into it if we want to.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But it's so basically you've got mash mixer, separation vessel, right, your lauter vessel,
Yeah.
and then a kettle whirlpool. So the kettle whirlpool is the only dual purpose vessel on the deck, and then that's the missing tooth there that we always joke about in house.
Yeah, they've got 3 nice tanks, and then they gotta get
And then
something.
we added this temporarily.
It's
but you're
like
supposed to have another one of these, but we're nowhere near capacity. Yeah.
Well, with beer this good, you'll probably be there soon enough, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, we're obviously very lager centric.
Yeah.
And I say we're lager centric. The consumers don't know that we're lager centric, but we just have to let go of lagers here. I mean, if we wanted to make a lot more money, we won't make a single lager. Yeah.
This is our third, but our pilsner's our third best seller. So,
Right.
So-
anything, our Brew IPAs are our number 1 seller. Anything hazy,
Yeah.
and then.
And I saw you guys have sour on some barrels coming up pretty soon too.
Yes.
So if you're out there watching, you're probably pretty aware of all alcohol if you watch this show. So they know about whiskeys and beer and wine, and you understand that ales are a lot easier to make than a lager, because lager, the name means putting it up for some time. So
Well, yeah.
it's definitely a product that takes a little bit more labor and love and time, and so not a lot of breweries do that.
Well, lager is the most consumed beer beverage in the world. I mean, most countries survive on lagers. We're a little bit of an anomaly in the U.S. in terms of people are still not ready for it to be their main drink. I mean,
Right.
You go to the Czech Republic, obviously, and they drink more beer per capita than anyone in the world in the Czech Republic, and it's all pilsner.
Right.
And so we built this place around pilsner. I mean, literally. And what I mean by that is our taps up front.
Yep.
Those are all imported in from the Czech Republic.
We show pours.
Yeah, we'll have to.
of course.
So let's talk about some of this beer that we're drinking.
All right.
Heading down the stairs.
Yeah, well,
So the cellar, we're in the cellar now. So we have 7 40-barrel tanks here, and then the next, big phase 2 expansion would be putting tanks through the roof, and big tanks in that area, and that would be the next
Wow.
next round. So
there's a vision here. You guys have a definite vision for what you're going to do.
yeah, if we want to go that big, then yeah, we have the ability to go. We can brew to tanks 4 times the size of this.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
so if we choose to go that direction,
Right.
or we can kind of keep trucking along. So we're not even at capacity currently with this fermentation space.
And you distribute too.
Yep. So we're a distributor right now throughout Sacramento. We just actually hired another purpose Sacramento sales rep. So we're pretty good representation up in this area and also the South Bay. And then we have a small distributor. We're self-distributed in this area, a small distributor down in kind of the Slow Bakersfield area.
Right.
So
I just have to give a comment on this Mexican hat I'm drinking. It's a fantastic beer. If you like any of the Mexican style beers, Negro Modelo especially, you can see the color. It's not a Corona color.
No.
This is a definite lager style, Mexican beer, but it's outstanding. So hopefully this is going to be around here in Cinco de Mayo, maybe.
Yeah, that's the we brewed that beer a few times.
Okay.
And we initially, what did we initially make that for? Do you remember? It was just one of those
do it.
beers.
Just
Yeah,
summertime
for
beer.
Okay.
Yeah, we always have to be a little bit careful when we decide just to make something on a whim
Right.
because we make so much at a time.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of beers we'd love to make, but we just don't. We're just not sure the foothills are ready for it.
Right.
So
See?
this is,
Well, hopefully people watching this are not just in the foothills, they're out and about. So if there's visitors from the Bay Area, if you're coming up from San Diego or down from Washington, Oregon, stop by here and check this out because it's outstanding, I'm telling you. So maybe you can make it for more people that are out in the area that can kind of appreciate it.
Well, we have up to 17 beers on tap at any given time, plus, I don't know, what do you think, 3 to 6 wines at any given time that Scott makes?
So let's talk about that because Scott is also a winemaker, or is a winemaker, hybrid brewer. So we're going to try to keep the show to close to 20 minutes, but we're going to go over. We're recording. Let's go talk about that. You wanted to show me something in the barrel room.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll talk to Scott about kind of his role here. Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
Let that sample on tape. You want more? Oh, I love more.
Okay. Lots of cans. So what do they call these?
Well, these are 16 ounce cans, but we're doing two can runs on Monday.
Okay.
So we're gonna be canning our double IPA, which I'm drinking right now.
And you just pulled that out of
Out of the tank real quick. Yeah.
Nice.
With our technical difficulties earlier, I'm still in stress mode. So.
Yeah, we had some issues with the Wi-Fi, but again, it's all good. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us and watching the show recorded. We're still enjoying this, and you're gonna look at this. Look at this.
So, yeah, this is
So
kind
cool.
of our project we don't talk about as much, and this is we have like about 100 barrels in here now, and we're in the process of filling them all. Wow! And so kind of cramming this. It's a little tight in here, and so
They're stacked up to the ceiling in here. So what's in these barrels?
So we have a few different things going on. So we have in the back, so we have like our Rouge de Champ is what we call this. That's a 30% rosé. So it's a Cab Sav rosé with a light lager base that we're just kind of not really souring, just getting a little funky.
Nice.
We have Russian Imperial Stout. So that's our Devil's Leap that we blend in Petit Syrah, like about 5%, 5 to 8%. And we're actually doing like a Solera on this. So we're blending it.
We're adding the new.
And then we're adding the new and the old back, blending it. So we just brewed that, and once a year we're putting that back and forth. So we're just on the cusp of releasing that. So that's one of the ones we've got going. Then in addition to that, so we have an apple juice sour saison. That was our Pomme de Champ that we're actually letting go for a little bit longer too. So that's going to be funky. And then we've got straight sours going. Flanders Red over here. We have a Muscat of Alexandria sour. And so we got camping on a lot of these. We have our first, we have 5 of our first beers that we ever brewed in one of these puncheons over here. Put all of them together, and we're souring those. And then so we're calling that the Pangea Project. Pangaea is all the land masses coming together. So all of our names are earth-based.
Right.
So that one we took out a keg for our first anniversary, served it. We're gonna do the same thing again, and then we're hoping to get a big wood tank in here, and that will be our kind of master Solera.
So that's kind of like what people do at parties at the end of the night. They just pour all the beers into one cup, and but this is a better version of that,
so
obviously.
Yeah. So we did that. We also have a peach ale that we have in here that we're going to release as well.
That is amazing. So many different. It's like you guys are not scared to try new things and just be adventurous with both wine and beer.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep. And we have a lot of these barrels that are still that we're about to brew into these. We're gonna do like a brown sour base on these. But so this in general is gonna get. We have a lot of funky things cooking. It just take a lot of time, and then we also are trying to do semi-clean stuff, and that's difficult though when you're in a very like a dirty. This is our dirty room.
Gotcha.
You know? So another thing on our wish list is we're gonna put a tank in the corner here is a blending tank and keep this kind of separate.
Right.
And then we're hoping to kind of go into these larger format barrels. And so this is all in flux in here, but pretty cool.
Well, you guys, thank you for sharing this part of it with me, because that's exciting to have. To have that kind of experimentation, or I mean, you guys are fearless.
Well, yeah. Well, this, I mean, and beyond this too, like I was starting to say earlier, that we probably do 400 to 500 gallons of wine, a year as well. I mean, we don't put all that through the tap room, but again, we don't buy any bulk wine. We're not we're not contracting our wines. I mean, this is what brought Scott and I together to a certain degree, because it's really hard to stand out in the current market. And again, I came from big breweries, again, Deschutes, Budweiser, Gordon Biersch, all these guys like this, right? Where you're stuck in a box. Right. Scott came from a lot of wineries where the winemaking process in general
you're stuck in a box. Although it's expanding a little bit now. I mean, we're looking at the canning and stuff like that. But this was like, hey, let's have a little bit of fun. Because otherwise, production brewing gets really boring. Production winemaking gets very boring. You can change Mako acacia wood. Like that's as crazy as like the wine industry gets.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the wines, like some of the wines, we just did a wine for another winery. We did an orange wine that we did a pellicle on, like a Georgian. So a pellicle, we underfilled the barrel. Okay. And I put a scum layer on top, so to speak. Okay. And this is a traditional style, like in like Georgia and Croatia. Okay. So it's skin contact white. So there is a little bit of screwing around, and we're actually did a skin contact white for solid ground that we're gonna put on draft, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the hell is this?"
That's so cool. You're gonna know what it is. Yeah, and I noticed like your sparkling, you a sparkling chard, and you had a sparkling rosé. So
a sparkling Pinot Grigio that we're just about to release, and then our and we actually have an unfiltered, unfined Sauvignon Blanc from Amador County that we just put on today, actually. Wow. So we're screwing around with wines, but people don't come to a brewery to drink wines. Yeah. But
it's good. It's nice to have though, because then you make everyone happy.
Our sparkling Pinot Grigio internally is our second to third bestseller
on average. Yeah. It's been one of those few wines that have really kind of taken a hold here. I mean, the wines are always good here, but like Scott said, people know us as a brewery. We have to fight a lot harder to get people to realize that the wine is our wine. Again, that it's not. I mean, the first version of Pingo, we got a phone call at late in the afternoon that there's some free grapes. They picked the wrong.
They mechanically harvested the wrong row. So this is the sparkling came for this weird mistake, and I don't know if we even had done sparkling.
No, it was just we got that phone call and we literally went out to the winery at on 6 o'clock and
they said, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, we made it till midnight. But the thing is, I would never pick Pinot. Would never think to pick Pinot Grigio at 19 bricks, which is 11% alcohol. Would never have thought that, and I was like, so it's free. We literally just pay for shipping costs. And we're like, what the hell are we going to do with this? Yeah. And it was like, let's sparkle it.
That's crazy.
And it's been that's kind of...
That's amazing. It's like the mistakes are some of the best things that's crazy.
And we use it to blend, with some other products. Yeah. We make our beer mosas with it.
Beer mosas.
Yeah, so we take our fruitiest, most tropical, IPA that's on at the given time. Yeah. We blend that with the Pingo for our beer mosas.
That's amazing.
Especially because on Sunday, the kitchen, we have a good kitchen that puts out some good food. And on Sunday specifically, he does a full brunch menu.
So let's talk about that food, and we'll start walking back here. I don't
You
know
want
if
to try
we
a
can,
few? Take a look at a few beers real quick, or we got?
Yeah, let's do that. We got a few minutes, I'm sure. If this episode, we'll go over a little bit here because we want to talk about their events, but we'll talk about a couple of beers coming up just so you can see what's going on.
You want to try the new beers on, or why don't we go in there? Yeah.
Okay, we'll go this way. Also seeing behind the scenes of what we normally use that we're not using tonight. Hey, do you know what you want? We're gonna have to talk a little bit louder because it's kind of noisy back here.
But so the first thing we'll point out is again is these taps, right? So these are these are imported in from the Czech Republic. To the experienced beer drinker, or especially brewer, the first thing you would see or say if you saw this was like, well, why are you using brass taps? Like, 'cause brass will oxidize beer and actually make it taste worse than stainless.
Okay.
But these are stainless.
Inside.
They've been nitered like a firearm, like the old Western golden gun. So this is the bluing. Essentially.
Gotcha.
So,
Exactly.
but they're stainless inside. But these are made for pouring pilsner Kilt. Out of the Czech Republic. These are the taps that they specifically contract.
Okay.
Do a cream pour.
Do a cream pour? Cream pour.
All right, so he's going to do a cream pour here. We might want to get close on this one.
Yeah, so in the Czech Republic, there's typically 3 different pours that the bartenders will do specifically with Pilsner Kilt. And the cream pour is kind of known as the young person's drink when they're going out to the club and they don't want to be gassy. So, because they want to make sure they fit in their life and their clothes. But pretty much is what that is these faucets have a creamer function, that's foam. Or you can go full bore, that's a laminar flow where it's nice clear beer. And they're also, they got restrictors so you can slow the flow down. Right? So a milk pour is literally a glass of foam. But it's a very, very tight foam. So it's when you use these faucets in this format, it's almost like a Guinness. You get that really tight foam head.
So we're going to see the cascade once it's done?
And they don't even wait for it. You literally, that's why it's called a milk pour. You literally drink it just like that.
That's how you drink it.
Yep,
May I?
Oh, of course.
All right, I'm going to try this. So
as it flattens out, it'll get creamier and creamier.
it's a nice pour. What am I drinking?
This is the Sipka. This is the Czech Pilsner. It's like drinking very tight foam.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's like whipped cream kind of. And it's just
Whereas you can do the other way that they'll pour it is they'll pour the foam first.
That's amazing.
You can pour the foam first and then open it up and pour from underneath it, and that gives you your more traditional pour.
Right.
And you'll also notice I'm burying the nozzle.
Sure.
That's a no-no usually in the U.S. That's how these are designed. So that's a different pour. And then the third pour is where you just literally pour it crisp. And then you put the head on top. So that one, the head went down first. And then the other way you can do it is literally fill it. This retains the most carbonation.
Okay.
Out of any of the 3 pours.
So that's where you're going to be belching, and that's why they don't want the gassy.
Exactly.
Gassy,
So this is basically that's the most carbonation. That's the middle level carbonation. That's no carbonation.
Gotcha.
So depending what if you're eating food, you want to be social.
Yes.
Go for one of these 2.
And this is I like that. That was delicious.
Well, you can see the head retention on it.
Oh
right?
yeah.
It just-
I mean,
it doesn't
yeah.
go
Look at
away.
that. That's still staying there. That head is on there. It's just not dissolving like you
So
said.
that's what we built this whole place around, is this one specific beer. That's why we've got the Pilsner, and it's a filtered product, really crystal clear.
Gotcha.
All Czech Republic ingredients, Czech taps. That's kind of where brew house built to make Pilsners.
Right.
This is kind of where our passion lies, is the lagers.
So then you've got some food. I want to talk about the food really quick before we cut out of here and talk about your events. But they've got some amazing foods here, and
Here's some food right here.
so what are we looking at?
What is this? This is the back.
This is the bat, and usually it comes with fries, but
So what are those?
polenta tots.
Polenta
Yeah,
tots.
we can upgrade that. if
Okay,
you
I
want.
love that. So the food here is amazing. They've got some really creative.
This is perfect.
dishes.
It's for Robbie.
Oh,
So
good.
timing couldn't be better, so we can get right in there.
We can get him while he's eating. So Scott,
You can even eat it if you want.
Casey, what's coming up? What do people should know about that's coming up for come visit you guys?
Well, so first of all, every maybe we'll step away from that. So every Saturday we do live music.
Okay.
You know, that's a big part of it. And we also try to do large events and do them right. So as a case in point, our Oktoberfest, you know, we brought in $3,000 worth of oak barrels from Germany.
Wow.
For our Oktoberfest. We did a Dia de los Muertos at one point. You know, we did a Tomatillo festival, which is the Spanish.
Make sure they can hear you.
Yeah, we did the Spanish, festival with the tomatoes. And so we do tomato beers, and we get flamenco dancers in, and we do a big thing. This Saturday we've got Gold Rush Day.
Gold Rush Days.
Yeah, so 2 days ago was the date of gold first being discovered locally. So we do 2 historic recipe beers. This year we're doing a Kentucky Common.
Kentucky Common.
Yeah, that's a recipe we pulled from circa 1850.
Okay.
And then we did a molasses-based 1848 recipe porter. So that one's just normally when you make a porter, right? You've got crystal malts and chocolate malts. This is a really ashy roasting malt molasses.
Wow.
So we have the marshals in town to do all the shootouts.
Yeah, it's gonna sounds like people are gonna be full on shootout. It's gonna sound like a shooting range around.
So if you're into the history of California and even our county, the gold, gold was discovered here in 1849, and so they're gonna basically commemorate that and celebrate that with 2 beers that are recipes from the 1800s, and then live gunfights and period clothing. Very cool.
Yeah, so it's
The shootout's gonna be really badass.
It is. They're awesome. Those guys are awesome.
The marshals are great.
They are.
And they're local. So
Now, is this kid friendly this weekend?
100%. We're always
Okay, it's 100% kid friendly.
Bring the earplugs.
In fact, I see some kids out here. Yeah, bring some earplugs. Dog friendly too. Outside, they've got a patio.
That's 4 to 7 is when all the activities are happening this weekend.
So 4 to 7 this weekend. Well, guys, I really appreciate your patience tonight. And
Same.
yeah, no, it's been great. I really, we've been coming here for a long time, and I'm really glad I got to meet you guys and talk to you about your brewery and kind of what you're doing, because I had no idea the history of what your purpose, and I think it's different. They are different than a lot of the breweries in the area. So definitely come up here to Solid Ground Brewing in Diamond Springs. Meet Casey and Scott and the rest of the team. You got a great team here too, by the way.
We have a very
Very cool.
Yeah, we're lucky.
They are lucky. So
At the end of the day, like I said, the more traffic we can get up here in the foothills, the better the whole community up here is.
absolutely, and it's cool. I mean, all these little towns, Diamond Springs, Placerville, they're just all little, western towns that have a history, which
Some really old buildings here.
really old ones. Yeah. So that'll have to be another show. But you guys, I thank you for joining me tonight and for having patience with us in our technical difficulties. We're rural. I mean, this is like rural California, and it's still kind of wild out here in a lot of ways. It's kind of still that old West feel, and you just kind of have to roll with it. And these guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys taking the time and coming out here. And
Thank you. No, I appreciate it.
thank you guys. So till next week, this is Russ with Kilt Cork, and I'm with Casey and Scott here. He doesn't have a beer, but
Grapevine.
they just took the 3 away. We're going to grab those.
We'll
But
grab something.
he's going to grab something, because I just want to say thank you guys. Cheers. And thank you for joining me tonight. We'll see you guys next week from another location, hopefully live, maybe not. But until then, be safe.